Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. What do we got today, Rick?
We got our Week 15 starts and sits.
Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
Feeling better today?
Still lost. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't.
No, it's all right.
Yeah,
I got to work through my own group.
I think if you
Miles Sanders is back, and I'm pumped.
Yeah, there you go.
See, I got something to look forward to. And then he's going to rip my soul out this week when he doesn't get an 80-yard run. Guy has like 3 80-yard runs.
I know. I love it.
Miles Sanders is legit. Welcome to Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. It is Wednesday, and that usually means that it's trades. But because there's no trades, we've been creating different content on Wednesdays just for fun.
Yeah.
The whole microphone
Very
is
much.
fun. We were going to do a Q&A on this episode, but we decided to move. There's Saturday football, there's Thursday football, there's Sunday football, there's football all over the place. So we decided to move this episode to Wednesday for this week, probably just for this week. Maybe we'll do a second Q&A episode next week, but we're going to do a Q&A episode on the Thursday show, and then we'll do maybe another one next week.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. But today, on Wednesday, we have starts and sits, so it should confuse the whole algorithm on YouTube.
Perfect. That could be good or bad.
It could be very good or very bad, but we'll see what happens. My name is Morgan Colby. I got Rick Lemon with me as always. What's
up?
Hoppin', Rick?
What's up, homie?
We got a lot to get to in this episode. So before we do any of that, check out our website at thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter at the FFChamps, on Instagram at the Fantasy Champions. If you're listening on Apple, wow.
It sounded like you were making a beat.
Somebody needs to make a beat out of that. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts,
legendary.
Spotify, Stitcher, or any other podcasting platforms, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with your friends, as well as subscribe on YouTube. Click the bell for notifications, like and comment down below. Subscribing is the best way you can support the show. YouTube, podcast, wherever it is, just do it now. Beeline it straight for the whatever.
Yeah, to it.
So it should be interesting to see what we have for starts and sits. We threw this together right before the show. So, hey, you never know. Last week, sit of the week at running back, I'm going to dwell on Sanders for a while here. But I told you I was hedging my bets, and I started him in multiple leagues.
It worked in those leagues, didn't it?
Yeah, just not the one I wanted. It's all right. Yeah, let's jump right into starts.
Let's do
and
it.
sits. What do you
Let's
think?
do it, yes.
What do you think? I'm just staring at my computer screen, hoping for things to get better.
That's me when I'm trying to do homework.
Me too. So let's jump right in. We'll start with the quarterback start of the week. Rick begged, and he pleaded, and he said,
"This is what it takes to beg."
And now Tom Brady, is on the list at Atlanta as the quarterback start of the week. We told you, on the League Winner show last week that Tom Brady was going to have some really good matchups. Now, this week was supposed to be a decent matchup for him. It didn't turn out in the way that you would expect it to, but he does have Atlanta, who is the worst.
Let's be honest.
They're the worst.
They are the
pass
worst
defense in the NFL. They give up 25.8 fantasy points to the quarterback position. You want to know who's only who comes in second?
Yeah.
If they're worse than the Jets.
Yeah, I think you could make the Jets are probably actually the worst defense, but they're
the
just
Jets are
so
the worst
blown
defense.
out in every game by so much that they give up less fantasy points than the Falcons.
But those 25.8 fantasy points a game are going to mean good things for Tom Brady this week. I would be shocked. I would be utterly shocked if Tom Brady did not get 20 plus fantasy points this week. So, if you are deterred by the 17 points he had last week, don't be. Just start him.
Yeah, I mean, if Brady doesn't get 20 points this week, I will concede my takes for Tom Brady on the year.
Oh, you see, now you got me rooting for something.
Because no, Brady's gonna get 20 plus against Atlanta. It's gonna happen.
I think on-field Brady. You want on-field real life Brady to correlate in fantasy.
No, I mean it has been though all year. Other than this past week. This past week he played well.
Inconsistent.
Well, he played okay, but like he did what he had to do on the field, but fantasy didn't really, it didn't really connect. Mm-hmm. But I think this week it will against Atlanta, who, as you said, the worst passing defense in the league. It really did take me a lot to beg. And I said, I was like, dude, if this was Ben Roethlisberger or like any middle quarter, Matt Stafford, Matt Ryan, or Matt Ryan is a Falcon, but any like middle range quarterback, like range from like 14 to 8, Morgan would be like, dude, start that guy against Atlanta.
Yeah, I would.
But Tom Brady, he was like, no.
Can't do it.
Actually,
it's a good start. I just argued for him.
Yeah, but even Morgan, who hates Brady with everything in his soul.
I don't hate Tom Brady. I love him.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. Even he is saying to start Tom Brady this week against Falcons because it is the perfect matchup. Every quarterback has succeeded against Atlanta. This is a game where we can see Antonio Brown even get a touchdown, I think. Chris Godwin might be turned alive again.
I think
resurrected from the dead.
Brown would burn the whole building down if he scored a touchdown.
Yeah, that's true. But I love Tom Brady this week.
I was going to make a bad joke, but I didn't.
Good. Hold yourself in.
Yeah. So let's unless you have anything else to say on Tom Brady.
I could talk about Brady for years, but I'm not
gonna. You know what? During the offseason, we'll just do a Tom Brady only show.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about what it's like to be a Patriots fan post Tom Brady.
That would be just a depression.
Yeah, it really would be. It's set. We have quarterback Tua Tagovailoa against the New England Patriots. Now, Tua's been really good. We told you on the waiver wire show to pick him up, but against New England, do not start him. I think there's a chance he throws his first couple picks of his career in this game.
He threw his first career interception last week.
Okay, all right.
It wasn't his fault, though. Did you see what happened?
He's going to have his first multi-career interception.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, multi-interception game of his career.
It went through his receiver's hands on a deep ball, and his receiver popped it in the air to the safety.
See, that's such a Dolphins thing to do. But I think Tua. I'm about to unplug my microphone. Tua is definitely a sit. I mean, you saw him Bill Belichick against rookie quarterbacks usually is pretty good. So I think
really good.
I think for him going up against you saw earlier this year Justin Herbert, one of the best quarterbacks, having one of the best, I guess, rookie quarterback seasons in the history of the game. Up there with the Baker and maybe Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson.
Yes.
But having one of the best rookie quarterback seasons that we've ever seen, get shut down by the New England Patriots. Like go from scoring any amount of fantasy points against a pass defense to just laying an egg.
Right.
So I think Tua is no exception. I think he's going to get shut down this week, and I think you would be lucky to see him get 15 points. I think that he's going to hurt you very, very badly. And just to give you the points per total, the Patriots are only giving up 17 fantasy points a game to their quarterback position. So I think that is a must sit.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Tua against New England is just I don't even know if he's going to be awful, but there's only been 5 quarterbacks in the 25 times a rookie quarterback has played Brady and won. Or Belichick. So Belichick is 20-5 against
Brady.
I am always. Belichick is 20-5 against rookie quarterbacks. We saw what Justin Herbert did this season against the Bill. It was a disaster. It was awful.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his fault. Like it's just a rookie quarterback against Belichick. It's hard, and that defense is good anyway. And then Herbert bounced back next week, and I think Tua will do that as well. But yeah, no, against rookie quarterbacks, I want to see if I can pull up the stats. This is so awful. So I'm just gonna quickly say, Chris, what is it, Winkle? I don't even know. In 2001.
Winky.
3 interceptions, 15 of 36, 144 yards.
2001.
2002, a rookie quarterback, Joey Harrington, 22 of 44, 210 yards, 3 interceptions. Brian Leftwich, 21 of 40.
Byron
Leftwich, whatever. 21 of 40, 228 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Let me see if I can find a good quarterback. So Ben Roethlisberger actually had success, but it wasn't great fantasy-wise. He had 2 touchdowns and 196 yards. Let me see. Vince Young in his rookie season against Bill Belichick, 2 interceptions, 15 of 36, 228 yards. Not great. I just want to see good quarterbacks. I remember Mark Sanchez, everyone was hyped at the time because he threw 1 touchdown and 163 yards against Bill Belichick as a rookie. Colt McCoy didn't do anything, 174 yards, 14 of 19. Russell Wilson, here's a good one. Russell Wilson did light it up against Patriots his rookie season. So Russell Wilson is the only guy on this list that I think had a great year. Andrew Luck.
3 interceptions.
3 interceptions, yeah, which isn't bad. Ryan Tannehill got destroyed. 186 yards, 13 of 29, 4 sacks. EJ Manuel, he wasn't that good. I know Geno Smith, I think, won, but he had 3 interceptions, 214 yards, and 13 of 34. Then Derek Carr, 1 interception, 21 of 34, 174 yards. So, and Marcus Mariota didn't do well either. The only quarterback that has ever put up good numbers against Bill Belichick in his rookie season is Russell Wilson.
Super Bowl champion MVP quarterback?
Yep.
Russell Wilson?
Tua could do it. I just wouldn't bet on it.
No, yeah. I mean, if Tua does that, I'll take my pants off like Rick has.
Pants are already off, even if he blows this week.
So let's talk about the start of the week at running back. J.K. Dobbins versus Jacksonville. We pre-recorded this show, so we're not sure how he did against Baltimore. Is that right?
You mean Cleveland? He is on Baltimore.
Whatever. Sorry, I meant Cleveland because they're playing Cleveland.
Yes, yeah. I think he did.
Forgive me, all right?
I'm going to guess he did good. I think he did decent. I'm not going to say he got 30, but...
Okay, but Jacksonville has given up a total of 24.9 fantasy points to the running back position. Now, recently, Dobbins has been more involved. It has been more involved in the pass. What am I saying? More involved in the offense. My wife sent me a text saying that she burnt my rice.
Not that.
And I was just like, it wrecked me mentally. I was like, what the crap's going on? So J.K. Dobbins has been getting more opportunity in the offense as of late. So the question is, if they go RBBC with Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, then those 25 fantasy points that you're giving up are probably going to be more distributed, like 12, 10. You're not going to get a big game out of them. But if Dobbins gets 20 carries and or 20 touches, I should say, and has a really opportune game,
I don't even think he needs 20. Like, if J.K. Dobbins gets like 16 touches against the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think he can get like 16 fantasy points.
Yeah, he's probably going to be fine in that department. So,
I love Dobbins this week. He to me is a must start against Jacksonville. Again, we are pre-recording this like an hour before the Monday night game.
So if he tears his ACL, we apologize.
Yeah, exactly. In that case, start Gus Edwards again. No, but
seriously, no, I'm not. I'm not even disagreeing with that. Gus Edwards.
But as of right now, J.K. Dobbins. It's just a perfect situation for him against Jacksonville, and it's a game that they'll probably blow Jacksonville out, to be honest, which means they're going to run the ball the whole game. And it's a game where I think J.K. Dobbins can really have a breakout.
Let's talk about the sit of the week at running back and just laugh in the face of my sit of the running back. Sit of the week at running back last week, Miles Sanders, and sit another stud.
Let's double down.
Let's do it.
We're double down.
Double down on our mistakes. Ezekiel Elliott versus San Francisco. Now, Zeke has been an absolute autonomous,
you're looking for the word right now.
Trash can for the most part. I love you, Zeke, more than you love Chick-fil-A. But the last couple weeks he's had, even against easy matchups, he's had tough games. Since Dak went down 8, 5, 7, 7, 18, 2, 11, 6. And now he's going up against San Francisco.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not convinced that he's going to have a game that is going to be extremely impressive. The other thing that we've seen that Zeke needs is rushing totals. His rushing totals in the last 3 weeks have gone down. He's had 10, 18, and 12. So I told Rick before the show I think they might be phasing Zeke out. So I definitely would sit him this week against San Francisco. I think it's time.
I think one thing that's really caught my eye with Zeke the last few weeks, it's not even in the fantasy numbers. It's that snap percentage. He's consistently getting like 60%.
Yeah, they're
60 to 69. Right. I mean, he's not getting 80, 90% of the snap share like he was in the beginning of the season. Like he had 88, 89, 98 in the 3 games.
Right.
With Dak. So it's kind of it's not kind of, it is concerning. If you own Zeke at this point, you're probably already leaning, should I start him, should I sit him? And we're here to tell you against San Francisco, who ranks, I want to say 7th.
Sit the man
against running backs.
Something like that.
Or they rank 9th against running backs. It's not a great matchup for him. I'm not starting him.
Agreed. Let's move to wide receiver. We're just cruising at this point, cruising through this show.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Your guy, Brandon Nayuk at Dallas.
Can you draft him in the league too, in a dynasty league? So it's your guy too.
Yeah. Well,
or you traded him away for Miles Sanders. Never mind.
I did. I traded him away for Miles Sanders. I have plenty of wide receivers. Don't you?
Yeah.
worry.
No, that's not a bad deal. Because you also included other players.
I have Amari Cooper, Terry McLaurin, Chase Claypool.
Yeah, you're good. Your receivers are stacked. You don't need Brandon Nayuk. Yeah.
So I'll trade him.
I'm just saying you liked him enough to draft him.
I did, but it was like a late round pick in a startup. So
yeah.
Anyway, so Nayuk, who's had some really great games this season, he is inconsistent as any wide receiver that is a rookie is, or any 49ers wide receiver, I should say, because 49ers wide receivers are extremely inconsistent. But Nayuk against Dallas is a great start this week. He has one of the easiest. It's probably one of the easiest matchups of his whole season. Dallas has just been terribly porous against the pass. Up there with Seattle, Atlanta, and Minnesota. They give up 30.6 fantasy points per game to the wide receiver position. There is no one else there besides Debo, and Debo got hurt through his helmet on the ground. Don't know where he's at in terms of his plan for this week. Like, I don't know if the 49ers are gonna play Debo Samuel or not. So if it's just Nayuk and they give up 30 fantasy points a game to the wide receiver position, I mean, I could see him getting 20. I'm not predicting it, but the ceiling is there for him.
I love that. My problem with that is Nick Mullins. I just don't love Nick Mullins. So here's a fun tweet. Brandon Nayuk has the 5th most PPR points of all time, from a wide receiver through 10 career games. So he has been fantastic this year, and he started off a little slow and inconsistent, but since they've started to use him, he really has not been inconsistent at all. He has 14, 19, 16, 6 or 18? Yeah, 18 and 16 fantasy points.
Are you having trouble seeing that?
I am, bro. I need glasses. Yeah,
I see a reflection.
But that's what he's done in his last few games. He's gotten 7, 10, 14, 9, and 16 targets.
Wow.
He had 16 targets this week. Let me say it one more time for everybody in the back. 16 targets this week. Against the Dallas Cowboys with no Debo Samuel, he's going to get at least like 12 to 16 targets again. A good point. Yeah. I think he's in line for another week where he gets like 16 to 20 fantasy points.
Yeah.
And he would be doing better if Nick he's getting 16 targets, but he's still only getting like 9. Yeah, he's still only getting like 9, 10 catches.
What is it? Week 15. Jimmy G might be back soon.
Yeah, I hope he plays this week. That'd be great.
Yeah. So I agree. I think Nayuk is probably one of the safest plays this week.
He's one of the most underrated. I mean, because this rookie class is fantastic. Like CeeDee Lamb, everybody talks about CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, as they should. Mm-hmm. Brandon Nayuk is very close to being right there with those guys.
Agreed. Let's talk about the wide receiver position. Robbie Anderson at Green Bay. You hear him I think you hear this man's name every single start-sit show. And,
I know. He's either a start or sit.
Jair Alexander, the starting cornerback. That's what I meant to say. Is that this is the guy I was talking about. I talk about him every single episode that's a start and sit, but that's because we always have people who are playing the Green Bay Packers at our sit, because the Green Bay Packers have given up not a lot of fantasy points to the wide receiver position, about 23, 24 a game. So Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore was absent. You said Robbie Anderson had 17 fantasy points this week in half PPR.
I think 17, something like that. Something in there, yeah.
I would think that this week, especially if he is the main wide receiver there for the Carolina Panthers, that it's not going to be a great week for Robbie Anderson. Now, you could also make the argument that with the absence of a lot of the wide receivers in that offense, Curtis Samuel, I believe, is back, and he's playing.
Curtis Samuel's back.
So that's good, but I don't see him getting over 20 fantasy points this week, Robbie Anderson. So,
oh yeah, I don't even think he's gonna get.
I don't even think he's gonna get 15. Like I think he's an okay play in your flex if you need to, but I would sit him for most anybody.
Yeah, Robbie Anderson started the year really good. But in week 10 he had 4 fantasy points. Then he had 8. Then he had 17, which was good, but he had only 7 targets and 4 catches. He only had 17 because he had a big touchdown. Then the bye happened. And then this week, without DJ Moore, he was kind of back to what he was doing in the beginning of the season. Right. He had 12 targets, 8 catches for 84 yards for 13.7 fantasy points and half PPR. Very solid. But this week against Green Bay, it's not a good matchup for him. First of all, DJ Moore is probably coming back as well. I think this is a game where he's gonna have a decent floor because he's Teddy Bridgewater's kind of security blanket.
Yeah.
So I think he'll get like 5 catches maybe for like 50-something yards, but that'll be it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree, as always.
Not as always.
Well, that's true. We agree mostly on fantasy things, which is ridiculous.
That's true.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
And we disagree on everything else. Should have heard us before the show arguing for an hour about the Patriots.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a disaster here in New
But you
England.
Still want the things that I was saying. You just don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not even
You call
like,
yourself a realist. I'm the realist here. You're the dreamer. Hoping that the Patriots draft a quarterback.
I guess that's one way of looking at it, yeah.
Anyway, so let's move to the tight ends. Tight end start of the week, Rob Gronkowski. Last couple weeks, man, Gronky Kong is back. And he's been getting targeted more in the red zone as of late. Mike Evans was the red zone guy, but in the last 7 games, Gronk has 5 touchdowns.
I think they're both the red zone guy. Like those are the only 2 players he looks at in the red zone.
This week was concerning. He only had 2 targets, 1 catch, and that 1 catch was 2 yards and a touchdown.
It was a goal line.
It was goal line work. So, but I think against Atlanta, he can have a really decent week this week. So I'd start Gronk against.
I think the only reason why that was the case, I want to say Brady only had like 23 pass attempts this week, or 24, 25. He didn't throw the ball a lot. If he throws the ball like 35, 40 times against Atlanta, Gronk should get a few more targets. I know. We think he's like 38, but
he's a tight end 7 on the year too, so start him.
Yeah.
Or a tight end 9 in PBR.
Still pretty solid though. And then our tight end sit of the week is Mike Kaiseki. I was a little hesitant on this, just because Tua has no one else to throw the ball to. Like Kaiseki's been his
except our waiver wire pickup of the week at wide receiver.
Okay, sorry. A running back, a rookie running back converted to wide receiver. But yeah, Kaiseki. So I think he's gonna get a decent amount of targets.
Yeah.
But against the Patriots, it's just like Bill. The way Bill plays against teams, they like to shut down one guy, right?
Yeah.
They shut down their top player. I think Bill is going to focus on Mike Kaiseki this week, and really try to shut him down and force Tua to throw to the outside receivers, the no-name guys that really blow and aren't going to drop passes.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to it's not going to bode well for Mike Kaiseki or Tua, which is why they're both on this list. So that's why I think it's a decent set.
Agreed. New England also is very good against the tight end position. This year they've only given up 5 fantasy points per game, and remember Indianapolis early in the season only giving up 2 fantasy points a game. They now give up 6.
Wow,
so New England is better at this point than Indianapolis. Yep. They're actually top 3 at stopping tight ends from scoring fantasy points. So I know Mike Gesicki's had a couple of really good weeks, and it's going to be a tempting matchup to start him against, but I would hold it, and I'd say no, don't do that. Bad idea.
Yeah.
If you start him and then you lose, that would just then you knew it because you listened to our podcast and you're like, no, I'm not going to listen to him. Not going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you lose because you didn't sit Mike Gesicki. That's
bro. If you go down because you didn't start
Mike Gesicki, I mean, you're gonna be
that's tough.
Pissed.
That's tough.
Anyway, sit Mike Gesicki this week. Is there any other thoughts you had? Any other?
I think that's it. I could talk about the rookie quarterback thing though. One more guy, Josh Allen blew too. In his rookie season against. I'm just saying.
Jared Goff too.
Jared Goff, yeah, that's another guy.
1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Again, Russell Wilson was the
going back to Tua versus the Pats.
I went all the way back to 2001 for this information.
That's ridiculous.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Sounds good. Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. I hope you enjoy. I always say hope you enjoy your weekend at this point, but that's not going to happen. We have a Q&A show tomorrow, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments.
Yes.
Be sure to check out our website. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We will talk to you Thursday, Fantasy Champs.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube. and follow us on Twitter @TheFFChamps.